Celebrities don't just get married on a budget by booking the local venue with a cute little altar and a couple of butterflies flapping around by some random lake on a random Tuesday. Nope, they're out here spending like there's no tomorrow, hunting for the most Instagram-worthy venue with lighting so perfect it practically whispers, "This is art." They need every angle to scream, "Look at us, we're iconic," ensuring future generations will gaze at their wedding pics and declare them the pinnacle of aesthetic goals. Take Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bon Jovi, for instance. They reportedly spent a cool 938,000 euros just to book their venue. Just the venue. And who could forget Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker's gothic glam wedding in Portofino, Italy? That event came with a price tag of around $3.5 million and was the talk of the year. Now, with Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco announcing their engagement, everyone's buzzing about what plans they might have in store. It seems like celebrity weddings are less about "I do" and more about "did you see that?" So, we thought, why not hop on the same train and spill the tea on some of the most extravagant celebrity weddings? We're talking about the themes, the money they threw around, the tiny details they obsessed over, and all the juicy, unheard-of info. Ready to dive in? Let's go. We have to kick off this list with one of the most expensive weddings of the 20th century, which is still the hot topic for more than one reason, of course. It all started with an unexpected love story. Prince Charles first met Lady Diana when she was just 16, and he was actually dating her older sister. They reconnected in 1980 at a country weekend party, where Diana comforted him over the death of his great uncle, and that's when the conversations began to flow. After some time, with all the pressure on Charles to find a bride who could handle the weight of the throne and the expectations of royal tradition, the couple tied the knot in 1981. Prince Charles proposed with a stunning 12-carat oval sapphire ring, surrounded by 14 solitaire diamonds. Do you know that Diana picked that dress herself from the fancy Gerard collection? And let's not forget that whole fairy tale wedding thing at St. Paul's Cathedral in London on July 29, 1981, with 750 million people watching from their TVs and 3,500 guests attending present in the venue. Diana's dress? A mere 25-foot train, puffed sleeves, and intricate lace straight out of 1980s fashion, designed by David and Elizabeth Emanuel. It ended up being the longest royal wedding dress in history because, you know, why not? And sure, the dress would probably cost about $60,000 today. It had 10,000 hand-sewn pearls and sequins. The wedding had 27 cakes, 30,000 flowers like lilies of the valley, roses, and orchids. Because why settle for anything less? And of course, Diana's arrival was in a glass coach pulled by horses. All that for a cost of $48 million back then, which, adjusted for inflation, would be about $156 million today. But hey, even in my wildest dreams, I'd never expect anything less than an A-tier event like this, right? Well, that definitely sets the bar pretty high, doesn't it? Now, before we jump to another celebrity, let me take full advantage of this royal wedding hype I've got you caught up in, and move on to the next one on the list. So, Catherine and William first crossed paths in 2001, back when they were just students at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. They quickly became friends, and by 2003 they were dating, though of course they kept a low profile. Fast forward a bit and they moved in together, because nothing says true love like splitting rent, right? They did hit a small bump in the road in 2007 with a brief breakup, nothing too dramatic. But guess what? They got back together like it was no big deal. Then, in 2010, during a little vocational trip to Kenya, William decided it was the perfect time to propose. He gave Princess Diana's sapphire and diamond engagement ring for Catherine. After that, they officially got engaged on November 16, 2010. And then came the big day, on April 29, 2011, at Westminster Abbey in London. The whole thing was a mix of traditional British elegance with a "we're modern and different" twist. Catherine naturally wore a custom-made Alexander McQueen gown by Sarah Burton, priced at a casual $330,000, and she topped it off with the Cartier Halo tiara, which she borrowed from Queen Elizabeth II, because why not wear a crown that's been passed down for generations? Classic, right? Now, there was Fiona Cairns' cake, which had 900 sugar flowers. making it an instant masterpiece for the world to dream about. Then came their reception, which happened at Buckingham Palace with 600 of their closest friends. And to top it all off, the couple made their grand exit in a 1902 state landau carriage pulled by horses. All of this came at a cost of $34 million, making it one of the most jaw-dropping weddings in history. And did I mention that more than 2 billion people watched it live? This one is basically the gold standard of Tier A weddings. Now calm down, because the next wedding on the list is sure to make you daydream about your own big day even more. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West wedding was truly the secret formula in how to get the entire world to stop what they're doing and talk about you. Remember when Kanye rented out AT and T Park in San Francisco? And he didn't just stop there. He hired a 50-piece orchestra and had a jumbo screen flashing, "Please marry me." I mean, who wouldn't fall for that? The entire internet was all in, cheering them on like they were the ultimate match made in heaven. But there's more to their story. Let's start from the beginning. They met back in 2000, thanks to a mutual friend, but didn't start dating until 2012, after Kim's divorce from her previous husband. But Kanye, in later interviews, did share that he instantly fell for Kim and called her the girl of his dreams. So, when they finally started dating, it was pretty obvious they were heading straight for marriage. The big question was, though, where would the wedding be? What would Kim wear? What's the decor gonna look like? Who's on the guest list? The suspense was real. Finally, on May 24, 2014, they tied the knot in Florence, Italy, at the historic Fort de Belvedere, a 16th century fortress with Renaissance charm. And of course, they picked Florence because that's where they believe they conceived their daughter, North. So, according to them, the logical next step was to get married there too. Now, about the dress. Kanye, ever the fashion icon, was wearing a black tuxedo from Givenchy, while Kim was dressed in a custom-made Givenchy haute couture wedding gown designed by her close friend Riccardo Tisci with a price tag of $5 lakh. Then comes the decor, which basically single-handedly revived the white flower wall trend for the entire world. This cost them around $136,000, making it stunning backdrops for their vows exchange. Then came the major event, where Andrea Bocelli, the legendary opera singer, performed as Kim walked down the aisle with the price of $500,000. There were about 200 guests, including friends and a parade of celebrities, making this wedding unforgettable for our generation. It cost them a total of $2.8 million. And guess what? That's without even including Kim's wedding ring, which experts say was worth anywhere from $7 to $8 million. Now, that's a level of A-tier spending that makes you seriously start saving for your own wedding. Most people would have to really think about dropping that kind of cash, even on their wedding day. But hey, this is Kim Kardashian we're talking about. After all, she and Kanye casually spent $750,000 on 4 gold-plated toilets back in 2013. So yeah, this wedding budget was a total breeze for them. Moving on to the next one, we have Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. If there's a couple in Hollywood that truly nailed the whole for better or worse thing, it's definitely Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. Their fairy tale goes like this. They met in 2006 on the set of his music video for Stereo, where Chrissy played, surprise, surprise, the love interest. Since their chemistry being so visible, they soon started dating, and John even proposed Chrissy in 2011. In fact, his song, All of Me, is literally a love letter to her. But wait, plot twist. They broke up for a hot minute. I know, shocking, right? But don't worry, it wasn't your typical drama-filled breakup. In fact, they were back together within the hour. That's the power of true love. Finally, they tied the knot on September 14th, 2013, in the so subtle and understated Villa Pizzo in Lake Como, Italy. Think fairy lights, soft pastel hues, flowers everywhere. Basically, your Pinterest board come to life. Talking about Chrissy's wedding ring, it is a center stone that probably costs more than our yearly rent, somewhere between $162,000 and $260,000. Wow, right? Even Chrissy actually went for not 1 but 3 Vera Wang dresses. First, she had an ivory strapless ball gown with a tulle skirt for the big moment. Then, she switched into a white mermaid gown, because obviously you need multiple outfits to make your day extra special. And just when you thought it was over, she tossed on a crimson mermaid gown for the after party, because who doesn't need a third outfit for that? Naturally, the whole internet went wild over her dresses, and suddenly everyone was using them as inspiration for their own weddings. Finally, as per the news, their wedding probably cost somewhere between $3 to $5 million. And that's including the ring. Impressive, right? But if we're being real, we'd still put this one in the Tier B category. Sure, it was luxurious, but it had that grounded personal vibe and was much more affordable compared to the previous ones in this list. But what do you think? Next up, a wedding that proved elegance isn't about the price tag. It's about the love between them. So, back in 2003 at a Harvard frat party, Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan stood in line for the bathroom, waiting for their turns. And out of nowhere, they started chatting. It's like God just hit pause on their lives until they started the conversation and figured it out. Classic, right? Fast forward to years later, and this bathroom convo turned romance ended up into a forever. In 2010, they moved to Palo Alto, California, and, naturally, decided to get married in the most intimate and minimalist way possible. Think cozy vibes with a dash of, we're keeping it low-key energy. They exchanged vows in their backyard on May 19, 2012, surrounded by 100 guests. Priscilla decided to wear a Claire Pettibone wedding gown, which cost around $4,700. It had delicate floral embroidery and a train that feels like a timeless design. And let's not forget about Priscilla's simple ruby ring, valued at a cool $25,000, because in Chinese culture, it's believed to bring good fortune. The couple, sticking to the theme of keeping it low-key, ordered food from their favorite local joints, sushi from Fuki Sushi and burritos from Palo Alto Sol. According to the experts, their wedding didn't have any of those extras like cake or reception favors because they were all about the family vibe. It was meant to make everyone feel relaxed, unfiltered, and less stressed about the whole thing. And despite the minimalism, the wedding came in at around $27,000, cheaper than the average Northern California wedding cost of $32,000. So, even though their wedding was all about the personal touches and simplicity, we're still putting it in wedding tier D. I mean, it's the most affordable option that you can easily arrange and vibe with. Anyway, after spilling all the tea about these celebs, their wedding, and their lavish spending, tell us the topic you want us to cover next. Don't worry, we've got our magnifying glasses ready to dive deep into the internet for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.